Oh, oops. It's gone all dark. Shit, that didn't work. Oh. It's supposed to be quite light over here, but it was all really light until it started recording. So let's see if this makes any difference. Hold on. Oops. Trip over. Such a bucket. Oh yeah, it's better. It's lighter now. I'm lucky you can see me. Different aspect. So, it's no longer Christmas Day. I've got a beautiful cup. If I was bad, I'd say this is made out of a real tortoise's leg. But it's not. Thoughts there. I'm going to read you a poem, whether you like it or not. And I don't swear in it. Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I do swear in it. I tried not to, but I didn't manage to not swear because I'm a foul-mouthed little fucker. I don't mention weed. Well, I actually kind of do as well. Once, I think. It's a little chunk out of my life from a while ago. Before. Anyway. And a little bit of today. And yesterday, in fact, Christmas Day. Right, so here we go. Okay. Did you feel bloated on Christmas Day? I hope not much food was thrown away. I know it was though, it's always like that. And 1% wallets still get fat. While down at the bottom and out on the street, there are very many people that can't afford to eat. Oh, sorry. Back again. No, this is a fact, a cast iron truth. It's really fucking hard when you live by nail and tooth. I know because I've been there and seen it through these eyes. I know there's more to life than 9 to 5. There's slavery in disguise. My life outside the boundaries made me look way far beyond, and I know it's quite hard to think like that in this totally clogged up pond. My life outside the boundaries was hard, but it was free. And if I'd never lived it, I doubt that I'd be me. In the winter all my clothing would be frosted to the floor. But soon enough, with a spliff in my gob, I'd make the burner roar. In just my boots, I'd hang my clothes above it in the heat. Lucky for me, I lived deep in the woods and not on the city street. If you lived on the street, it's just as cold, and probably colder still, 'cause you won't have a homemade wood burner to take away the chill. So living on the streets was not a choice for me, because I'm a born survivor and I know what it's like to be free. Not something that I intended, not something I had planned, but what happened to me could happen to anyone. I hope you'll understand. I used to work with gardens and trees and I really loved my job, and quite a few bits of dangerous work, but I earned a fair few bob. One night my vehicle and tools were taken. That fucked my work. Couldn't bring home the bacon. Well, being a veggie, that wasn't too bad. And as far as the rest, well, it could have been sad. I lived in a nice little flat full of my stuff and sold it all for a ton, then watched him struggle to carry it out and smiled when it was done. I travelled round the country. I even went to France. Well, I actually woke up on a train by some strange circumstance. I went into town to a hippie bar. Someone put something in my drink. Well, that's how I ended up there in France, is all that I could think. I got nicked in Ostend for being rude to an ugly bloke, a uniformed dude. It wasn't that rude, just having some fun. Then he got quite pissed off and pointed his gun, which made me laugh more. It has to be said, at this point in my life, I was out of my head. I sung Hare Krishna with my hands on my head, which angered him more. His face went bright red. The more I laughed, the worse it got. The dudes in mate were losing the plot. A crowd starts to form and a cop car arrives. Out from the car jumps an officer guy. I had machine pistols prodding my rib cage, but decided the guerrillas were bluffing. On reflection, I guess it was lucky for me the new guy's hobby was cuffing. Much to the displeasure of the red-faced buffoons, their officer arrived to relieve them too soon. So there was I in a car with some cops. It gets far, far worse. It just never stops. They said there had been a burglary and they thought it might be me. But I didn't fit the description, so soon they let me free. Maybe you only just guessed. Maybe you knew all along. My life was a little bit sketchy back then, like a dodgy 80s song. So somehow I came to my senses. Or maybe I deeper dug. I loved my herb, as I always have, but danced to another drug. Went to many raves with the bill seller, my lost best friend Yella, with me nearby, looking mean as fuck. It looked like I was the fella. Can you imagine me looking mean as fuck? Not these days, baby, you're out of luck. In a car I travelled in style for a while with a girl, and we lived in my tent. She simply did my head in with tarot, and I ended up living in Kent. Doing my head in, how could that be? A reading for how do you want your tea? So I moved to a place called Pennypot Wood, and I lived very simply, as I knew that I could. That's when I found the place where I belong. But that, my dears, is another fucking song. That was a little chunk of my life from a long, long time ago. And I hope you liked it. And I hope you understood it. A fair few bob. Some of you might not know what that means. It means you got paid lots. But that's about all I can think of. And, you know, no apologies for the fucking swearing, because I'm a foul-mouthed little bastard.